right, on Quickfire, we've got police spokesman Charles Owino. Thank you so much for joining us on the show tonight. From where you sit, Mr. Owino, did you see that the police acted within their mandate?
We are a very unfortunate institution in the sense that you find people breaking the law and or people doing what is within the confines of the Constitution, and we find ourselves in between. For example, we have members of the opposition trying to have their demonstrations and so on. And we have also people who are not in the opposition who would also not want to see whatever is happening. But as a police service, we serve everyone. We serve all Kenyans in their capacities, whether they are in government, just in a minute, whether they are in government or they are in the opposition. Now, most interestingly, we are supposed to protect properties and lives of individuals.
Absolutely.
You can see some people complaining they have been hit. You can see some people complaining their properties have been destroyed. And we are expected by the community to balance.
And I totally understand that, Mr. Owino, but did you feel that the police acted excessively on Monday? I mean, we saw a man, he's already lying down, he's unarmed. Yes, there were stories about him having a stone in his pocket, but he was on the ground.
One thing we must admit, we must be able to differentiate clearly, is that there's a difference between the police as a service and the police officer as an individual. Owino as a police officer and the police as a service. As a service, police officers don't take collective responsibility. We take individual responsibility. That is why we send 2 officers for beat duties along River Road. And they come into contact with the robber. And sometimes they even use their firearms against that person. And even the person loses his life. So at the end of the day, that officer is expected as an individual to have known his limits on what he does.
So
and equally, you cannot tell what could have happened. You see, every one of us, you and I, and Jenga included, we have some level of insanity in the slightest way possible. For example, a person who just wants to commit suicide, if you can be able to stop that person in the next 2 seconds, he may not be able to commit the same act. So you never know what, because if you look at what happened, this guy was running from the shop. He's getting followed by a policeman who looks very angry. Then this policeman from the pictures is shown beating this man badly. So if you look at it very, very clearly, you see there must have been something that happened somewhere that we may not be able to tell. And
that is fine, sir, but you talked about taking responsibility. So this should not be about an action without accountability. Do we know who these police officers are and what is the action?
Definitely, when police officers go for those kind of duties, we know every police officer. And it cannot be impossible for us to tell which police officer did what.
So what
but remember, as a police service, when you commit an offense, whether you are a policeman or not, no matter your rank, action will be taken against you. But we do not want to demoralize general police service on their actions. What must happen is that we have 2 important institutions. One is an independent oversight authority, another one is the internal affairs unit. These are the units that are entrusted to look at complaints or issues that arise. Remember, we had so many policemen in this riot, and maybe it is 1 or 2 who are committing something that borders an offense, and they must be given an opportunity to be listened to. Therefore, the Independent Oversight Authority and the Internal Affairs Unit will deal with the matter. And if the officer is found to have acted beyond his limits, definitely an action must be taken. He would even go to court.
But what does it say about, I remember during the talks about police reforms, and there was a talk about public confidence, the police moving from a police force to a police service, but Kenyans are clearly losing confidence. We are going to see code every Monday henceforth until they say IEBC is out. Can we expect
number one, we cannot stop code from demonstrating. If they want to demonstrate, they are Kenyans, they have a right. But they must it must be understood that even during that time, those times for demonstrations, unfortunately, even thieves come in, people with ulterior motives come in, people who want to destroy people's properties come in. And there are so many theories in this, we can't stop them. But we have a responsibility as a service to act within the law. And in our actions within the law involves very many things. Involves even when this meeting becomes riotous or these people cease to demonstrate peacefully and unarmed, then it may force a situation where we have to declare the demonstration illegal and ask them to disperse. If they don't disperse, we have to use a tear gas. If they don't, we even use buttons. And it can even go to a very bad level if, for example, the rioter threatens the life of another person. So what we are saying is that we are a nation, we are a country. Every person must take responsibility of what he's doing. Don't expect sympathy when you are hitting another person, when you are carrying stones in your pocket, when you are, remember the previous meeting just before this one, the rioters beat up a policewoman who was undertaking traffic duties in Ngong Road, and that was very unfair. So let me tell you, if for example the male officers were present when they were beating that policewoman, then maybe somebody would have lost his life. So what I'm calling for is responsibility. This is our country. Nobody is going to come from outside to manage our country. But as a service, we have to protect everyone. We have to ensure that things are done within the law, and we must just request every Kenyan that let us act responsibly.
Thank you, sir. We must wind it there. Police spokesman Charles Owino joining us on the Citizen Business Center tonight. Thank you.
Thank you so much.